Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another Micromotor workshop. As usual, I'm struggling with the technology. So let me switch off the monitoring of my own audio and wait for the chat room to come alive. If you're by accident watching the stream and don't know about the format yet, please hop onto the chat room. And for those of you who are already there, let me know how the audio sounds. Trying a different microphone today because I was listening back to the previous recordings and I thought it could need a little bit of improvement. So please let me know if it's loud and clear. Jesse's back on the blower and sounds good over there. Thank you. So let's jump right in. 7 people watching now. And given the poor quality what I get out of my upload speed, I thought I'd consider this a podcast, a live podcast with thumbnail-sized slideshow to go along with it. But yeah, it's really about the interaction. If I want to have live, not live, but canned video in high quality, I can do that. But this is really about getting a dialogue going, showing you guys what I'm doing here, and see what you're interested in. So one of my blue tentacles is holding my camera, and the other one is holding one of my topics for today, the Reggae Shark frame. Luke Ritchie turns up too. Sounds pretty decent, he says. Thank you. So this is a frame Dave has been working on. Dave, aka CNC Master Woods Turning, has been working on for quite some time. He has sent me several iterations of the frame, and this is the final version. This is by far the best micro FPV frame I've ever seen. I've flown this literally hundreds of hours, and I crashed it thousands of times, and nothing holds up like this little thing. So I want to show you a little bit why I think this thing is so cool and how I'm building with that frame. And my other topic for today is Lego quads. So as you might know, I'm a big Lego fan since I can think, and we've built quite a few micro quads with Lego stuff, Lego figures primarily attached to it. For example, this little guy here, probably a topic for one of the next, how we call it, podcasts, slideshows. But I thought we'd take this to the next level and make pretty much anything Lego fly. So I printed a whole stack of Lego mounts. So looks like a Lego piece on one side and like an 8.5mm motor mount on the other side. Haven't flown any of them yet. These have been falling out of the printer overnight. So let's see how we can get them across the world. Rich is back too, and Ash comes into the stream too. Go Lego! So let's start with the shark frame. So we basically had H-shaped frames like this one here. Come on. So H-shaped frames like this one here with 135 millimeter motor diagonal to give enough room for stuff you want to carry around, like flight controller and FPV gear, and enough space for 66 millimeter props. And the plan was to somehow protect video antenna, camera, and flight controller. Yeah, I smashed quite a few of these flight controllers apart, and you got to resolder them. So we wanted to have something what protects the gear you put on top. So Dave came up with putting up some sort of a side shield. You know, see what the problem is with this shield? It's in the way of the props. So we had to make it smaller. Like this, for example. Well, this looks kind of boring. So, and then next day, Dave came up with this shape here. When I've seen that, I said, well, this looks like a shark. I know sharks. I live on the beach. Lots of sharks here. So I thought, yeah, that's funny. Let's do that. And then we changed the legs or the arms from arms to fins. The main reason for that is to provide some torsional, if that's the right word, some resistance against twisting. Because if you look at this frame here, it's relatively easy to twist the mount, and that makes it prone to vibrations. So we've come up with this design here, a lot harder to twist, and it doesn't even add much weight. So the little arms here, they are pretty much half the width of the single arm, and yeah, it gives it just a lot more rigidity. So I don't see any way of how we can break this thing. And the little fins on top, they just slide on two little notches and then snap on third notch in the middle. So they can fall off if you crash them hard enough, but yeah, most of the time they stay on. And there's a little bar in between, a little polycarbonate rod with two screws on each, or one screw on each end. So even if one of them pops off, it doesn't fly away, and you can just put it back on. Yeah, but you can also put some rubber bands around the ends to keep them in permanently. But yeah, maybe they don't even come off that often anymore. In the prototype, these little notches have been a little too small, so that made the fins fly off from time to time. But yeah, these ones are a little bit more substantial, so you need a little bit of force to press them in. So you hook it in on the front, bend it over that middle notch, hook it in at the back, and push it in and press that notch, and yeah, I don't think they come off in flight, or not in flight, when crashing. Corpius is asking, have you gotten one of the new Parrot airborne cargo frames with the Lego mounts? Yeah, I've seen those being announced, well, several months ago. I've put my name on the notification list, but I haven't seen them. Are they sold yet? So, of course, I'm going to buy Parrot Lego frames. Just the frames, because I think the other stuff, they just don't fly very well with that stupid app-controlled flight controller. And they're expensive, probably like 150 or 200 bucks or something in Australia. So I think it's 100 bucks US or something like. And you don't even get a remote control, but you have to put up with tilting your phone. I'm not a fan. But yeah, the frames are cool. So I definitely want to have a cargo frame and a Parrot hydrofoil and beef that up with an octocopter. So what's the weight of the Lego frames? Well, there's no Lego frame yet. These are just Lego mounts, Ash. So the mounts weigh 1.2 gram each. So you need at least 4 of them. And then I haven't the right Lego parts yet. So I'm going to talk to my son when he comes back from kindergarten and see if I can snag some more parts. But you can go to shop.lego.com or just put into Google pick a brick, and then on the Lego page you can select the parts individually. So what I figured I'm gonna do to mount the mounts to some other Lego pieces is take flat or plate pieces, they call them, 1 unit wide and 10 units wide. So this is only a 6 long piece, but if you take 10, it will pretty much cover the same length like a 135 millimeter frame. So then you stick the mounts onto the Lego piece, so they only have knobs on top, they're just flat underneath. I tried to print them with that whole type of structure underneath, but yeah, it's getting fiddly and makes the part weaker, and also it makes only sense if you then actually snap another piece on the bottom, and that adds extra weight. So each of these, like a 6 knobs long piece of Lego weighs around 1.5 gram. So a 10 unit long one is around 2.5 gram. So you add another 2.5 gram by snapping another one on the bottom. So I figured I'd just make them flat underneath, and they stick well enough. So I think to fly it'll be good enough, but they will come off in a crash. Maybe that's a good thing, but if you want to keep them on, just put 2 zip ties around this, and that will obviously keep them in. So you need 2 pieces 10 knobs long, and then 1 piece for the middle, which is, I think I've taken 4 by 10, so also 10 in that direction, and then you pretty much come to the shape of a 135mm H frame, and you can stick all sort of stuff in the middle. There should be enough room to fly your minifigs or spaceships or whatever around. And the frame should weigh around 12 gram or so, plus the mounts. I think I haven't figured it out exactly, but should be enough to fly some Lego stuff around. So to spread the fun, I printed quite a few of them. Already created a product in the shop for them. So I will sell them at $1 a piece plus shipping. So currently only available in Australia, or let's say shipped from Australia. So if you are overseas from our perspective, I can still ship them to you for the $4 in shipping, because they fit into a normal standard letter envelope. But yeah, you gotta wait a little bit, 2 weeks or so. If this all works out, I will put them on either on Shapeways, so you can just buy them straight from there. But I'm not totally sure. Maybe that gets me in trouble. Printing Lego compatible pieces. I don't know if Lego wants to do something against that. Maybe I can't call them Lego. Maybe I just can call them compatible to your popular brick of choice or something like that. Or alternatively, I might just give them to a local company to print a whole bunch of them and see if I can lower the price. But yeah, $1 a piece is probably not a bad deal. They're printed out of high impact, semi-transparent ABS. So they are pretty strong. Let me take one of, so this one here, it's one of the weaker ones, which has that structure here. So you could pop something underneath, but because of the way it's printed, you actually have to go in and scrape the support out of these holes here. And yeah, it's just not very nice, and it makes the part weaker. So, you can break it. It's not super strong plastic, but I think it's good enough to prove if the concept works. And if everyone is happy with that, I will print them out of laser sintered nylon, as tough as a $2 steak. So yeah, that's it. That's what I'm currently doing. So enough with the monologue. Let's see what the chat room is saying. So yeah, so the weight of the Lego frame, yeah, somewhere between 10 and 15 gram, I'd say. So in comparison, the shark frame weighs 10 gram, or just below 10 gram without the fins, and around 11.5 gram with the fins. So yeah, I think we can get the Lego frame to a fair weight to fly it around nicely. I mean, you can put these motors into all sorts of stuff and it will still fly. Even this thing here flies pretty good. I never thought it will fly at all, but it's pretty acrobatic and you can even load up some stuff. So thinking about flying this FPV around the mall or something until they chase me out. Or they already know me, so the security guards are pretty quick in tracking me down if I brought some stuff to the mall again. We're driving FPV with a 10 scale truck in the Arena Fair. That didn't last long, but it was funny as it lasted. So let's continue. I watch these in my way to work. The environment is quite loud. If next time the audio could be a tad louder, it would be good, says Luke. I think I can crank it up a little more. Let's see, is that louder? Not sure if I can do any more. This maxes out everything I have. So Jesse says, need those tips for my shark. So yeah, you already have one. So yeah, Dave's selling them on his site as well. He's a bit sneaky about it because maybe he thinks he wants me to release them first, but yeah, I don't mind. If you want them and I'm out of stock, which won't be long, so I'll publish a link soon in the chat room on my site. It's still kind of hidden there, but if you search around, you might find it already. Yeah, I don't have many of them. Well, I have quite a few, but I need some myself. So I got 10 of them. Gave one away yesterday, and I'm going to build 5. So that leaves me with how many? 3. 3, and I have 10 in the US, so that's 13. They won't last long. But you can go to picnicquads.com and search for shark. Put shark into his search field, and you'll find them too. So unleash the Craigle. What's the Craigle? I don't know what Craigle is. Craigle, what does it mean? Crazy glue? Okay. I don't know what you mean, Jesse. Discount for bulk purchase. What you mean, Ash? You mean you won't buy lots of these? Yeah, if you have them in bulk, printing like a bunch of this, like this here, takes me around 4 hours. And realistically, I only get to setting up the printer around maybe 2 or 3 times a day. So at the maximum, if I'm not printing anything else, I can get 4 sheets like this out of the printer. So you see how heavy that is. My shipping weight for a standard letter is 50 gram. That includes the envelope. That fits it quite nicely. That's 34 gram. So I could send 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 20 just like this. One issue with that is I want to send them to as many people as possible. So that obviously limits the exposure in the first place. And maybe something wrong with them. Maybe they don't fit. Maybe I tested them, so I should fit. But maybe you guys find some problems. That's why I rather not send you 20 of them. But 5, I figured I'll send 5 in the first place. So get them like that, and 1 extra, just in case you break them. I don't think during a normal crash you will not break them. You can always take these parts, even the high impact stuff, and just crack it apart by holding it in 2 hands. Although it will be stronger than this part here. This is almost hollow, and these ones here are printed completely solid. So it should last your average crash. But yeah, I'll put 5 in a pack anyway. And the main thing what keeps me of producing more next to the printer output is you need to remove the support. So I'll leave you guys a little bit to do as well, and just leave the support on. So what I'm doing is I'll just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just crack one part off and send it to you just like that. So what you want to do is take a knife, one of these cheapy slide out knives, ideally a blunt one, so that reduces your risks of cutting your fingers. I don't want to tell you how often I've cut my fingers since I started printing. It's crazy. So take a blunt knife that's good enough and just slice it in between the mounts and the support, and bam, they come right off. So it's printed at a little bit lower temperature, which reduces the layer adhesion, so you can get them off quite easily. Sometimes it's just enough to pull them off and they come come off almost without any support residue. And I prefer to print them quite tight, so you need to force the motor in there. Wow, this is actually just right. So it slides in easy without much force, but it's not moving around when you gently push on it. So if it doesn't fit, you can just take a little file or an X-Acto knife and shave off a little bit. But they're printed with a little fillet on the outside, so it makes it a little bit easier to push the motor in. And if it's not tight enough, you could just pull a piece of rubber through, then push the motor in, and it will keep it tight. So yeah, that's the plan. So yeah, it's louder. Cool. So let me search for the link. So micromotorwarehouse.com/products/ what did I call them? Lego mount something 85 millimeter. So it's not 85. No, wrong one. It's not 85, but I don't want to put a dot in there. So products. Where did I put it? Here. Brick mount. I called them brick mount. So maybe that gets me not in trouble. So view. So they're called brick mount 85. I post the link in the chat room. Here we go. And yeah, maybe in the description. Let's put that in the description, because I plan to just let YouTube upload the thing here as a podcast slideshow event. So it will be available for watching afterwards. Let me see, you can just edit this. Yeah, edit. Oops. And put it in here. Brick mount 85. So, yeah, let me add some to inventory, otherwise it's not funny. Oh no, there's 10 already in inventory. So 10 means 10 times 5 of them. So I'm not sure we have 50 already. Oh, no, here's more. No, they didn't finish printing. Yeah, so I was about to print some more during my morning beach run. They didn't finish for some reason. So sometimes the printer just craps out and doesn't finish the print. So I came back and was just stuck here, halfway finished. Yeah, this goes into the bin. So this reminds me, the printer should have heated up again. Yeah, nice and warm. Let's print some more. Print some more. So yeah, if anyone wants the print file, I'm going to upload that too. So load, where is it? And I've made it a handy print file. Not sure if you can see my monitor here. Auto placement, which contains 20 of them neatly arranged. So yeah, excuse the beeping. The printer always likes to beep a couple of times. So to help the layer, the bottom layer, adhere to the print bed, I always like to heat it up a little more. So just take your average gas lighter and crank away on the print bed while the print nozzle is heating, and turn down the temperature to 255. If I print it hotter than that, stuff will all just stick together and smell. So printing this high impact ABS at 255 degrees Celsius. It's just nice, no mess, no fuss, just nice parts. So yeah, I'll make some more of them, but yeah, currently I don't plan to sell them in bulk. I just want to get as many people as possible to build them, try them out, tell me if it works, tell me what we should do differently, and then yeah, somehow get a large production up there. So, or maybe maybe it's enough to just publish the file and someone else is going to print them. So if you want to print them in bulk, let me know and I'll give you the bulk file. Apart from that, I'll just chuck up the single mount onto Thingiverse and take it from there. So far to the mounts. Pizza Trick first says, lol. Okay. I used to get this titty bar that had $2 steaks and they were juicy and tender. Yeah, really? I've only ever seen tough $2 steaks we could knock someone out with. You gotta come to Australia, Adam. Steaks are different here. We have some pretty solid steaks. But now we also have very nice steaks, but they're expensive. So P. Satrick says your stream is low quality, like 240p. Why is this? And it's not only 240p, but it's also the lowest frame rate possible. And by the way, it comes out of a security camera from the 70s. So it's like one of these here. So this camera, what you now look into, that's what you also look out from. It's kind of wide angle, $10 camera, which I've hooked up to a $300 video converter, which pipes it into Wirecast and streams it across the world at 240p minimum frame rate, because that's what my internet connection gives you. So I get around 700k upload, and yeah, it's just welcome to Australia. But yeah, it's a very minimum, the lowest setting you can set on that YouTube streaming, 240p minimum frame rate. It doesn't go lower. But yeah, that seems just enough to keep streaming continuously. So what diameter motors will fit the Lego holders? 8.5 millimeter motors. I might do some 7mm too later down the track, but because the Lego stuff is actually quite heavy once you click enough parts together to make a frame, I think 8.5 is probably the best. It's my favorite motor anyway. 90% of the stuff I build runs on 820-15 motors. A little louder, that's good. Lots better, nice. Rich says, where can we get one of those frames? Yeah, so you can go to picnicquads.com, or you can grab the few what I have available on micromotorwarehouse.com/products/135mm-shark, 135mm shark. Let me put that into the chat room as well. Bam, and into the video description. So that's so far to where you can get one of those frames. Yeah, there's, as I said, I have 3 left here, and they're very nicely packaged in a flat package like this. So I can ship them to everywhere in the world for $4. But yeah, we have also 10 of them in stock in the US. And yeah, Picnic Quads, the maker of them, has some of them too. And yeah, I don't know what else you can improve on this. So we were pounding on this for quite some time. I think it's just perfect. So we're gonna make a lot more of them. So your videos have made us all want the Alien Week controller. Yeah, I'm sorry for that. They will come back. They will come back. So um, I'm already taking quads apart to build more. Say I wanted to build 4 of these frames for myself. Um, well, why not just 1? Why not just 2? Well, I always need backups because when I crash them hard enough so they fall apart, rarely happens. So the only thing what really breaks on these things are the propellers and the motors. But once I crashed one apart, I don't want to stop flying. I just want to keep going and separate the flying and the fixing. So I need 4 of them. And also, I want to use the chance to use different cameras. So I have 2 cameras what I like to use. One is that wide angle thing which you're currently looking out of, and the other one is a little narrower one, 90 degrees diagonal. And I have PAL and NTSC versions of both of them. So I will make one wide angle NTSC, one wide angle PAL, and one kind of normal angle. So whatever that focal length is, but yeah, one narrow angle PAL and one narrow angle NTSC, and then yeah, maybe do some back-to-back videos to figure out what is actually better, because I don't see much difference between PAL and NTSC. Maybe it needs some back-to-back comparison to get to the bottom of that. So yeah, the alien Wii's will come back, but currently I'm short 2, so there are lots of quads over there with no brains in them because I'm slaughtering them to build more. But quite a few people have started attempts to build their own alien Wii based on the schematics what Lance has published. And there are quite a few other flight controllers you can buy. For example, the beef board, Moo. Still my bench didn't get to bind the receiver. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but apparently I'm doing it wrong. And then there's the Multiflight Nano FC, Nano B FC. They both run CleanFlight or similar, which yeah, I'm not too much of a fan of on the micros. There's more stuff in there than you actually need, and there's one thing which kind of ruins the fun a little bit. The maximum duty cycle on CleanFlight for brushed motors, as I've learned a week or 2 ago, is 80%. So you get a maximum of 80% of your battery voltage to the motors on CleanFlight brushed. And I was always wondering why my hexes fly so meh. So yeah, nothing flies as good as a narrow alien. And it will be back. You know, we created enough momentum with this show here. With this show, I also mean the gazillion of videos I made obsessing over especially the Alien Wii flight controllers. I mean, I've been flying the micro MWCs for quite some time, but yeah, the aliens just fly better and they are a lot less hassle to set up. It's just still, even after buying every other flight controller there is, they're still my favorite. They will be back. Yeah, movies. You know, I like the movie stuff, Jesse, but I'm not watching movies. I don't have time to watch movies. So the kids have been watching the movie. Of course, they watch movies sometimes, but I can't sit still for more than 20 minutes and watch a movie. So yeah, I put it up for them upstairs and I go down and build something. So sorry if I missed some references from Lego movies or Star Wars movies. I just I like to act myself, you know. Yeah, I don't know. I was never a fan of movies. I think the only movie what I've ever watched from beginning to end was Pulp Fiction. So yes, BCR 459, the AWII, the alien wheel is extremely hard to get. I don't know where you can get one these days. Um, so Luke tried the Sky controller, has integrated receiver and can load Betaflight NACE hex. But it doesn't have hex outputs, right? It only has quad motor outputs. Flies good with Betaflight. So yeah, I will try Betaflight to heard some good things about it. Maybe they fixed the output issue with Betaflight. I don't know. But yeah, so far I'm not too much a fan of any CleanFlight micro board. What printer is that? That is this one here is a Fuji Xerox Docu Center printer. But this one here is a UP Plus 2. The main advantage of this thing, it's super small. It's smaller than your average 2D printer. It only prints small as well, so it only has a 140 mil square or cubic, 140 by 140 by 140 print area. But it's not moving the head in 3 or 2. It's actually only moving the head in one direction, and the bed is going forwards and back and up and down. That makes it very compact. Yeah, very nice printer. I like it. Works very well. I'm using it for almost 2 years now. Very few issues. Very reliable. Super Bazooka. LOL. Adam says, good job designing the shark. Well, I only gave some gentle hints what to do. Dave did all the designing. I only complained and crashed it. So, but yeah, I think it's awesome design. There's these 3 little sections here, which gives you a little bit of surface area to stick stuff, and enough kind of bars around this to pull zip ties through if you want that. I mainly just use double-sided tape. This is clear tape, so it has a red backing, but you pull that off and it's clear. So see there? I stuck all the parts to it, but you can't even see the tape. This very strong tape, after like 24 hours of curing, it just doesn't come off. You need to twist the parts off to get them off again. It's high strength wall mounting tape. It's expensive. You get it in the hardware shop for, well, the roll's a little bigger, but it almost costs like almost $20, I think. Maybe you can get it cheaper online. But yeah, it doesn't matter too much because one of these rolls lasts me about half a year of building things and also sticking all sorts of other things against other things. So, frequent flyer RC comes. Hey, welcome in my stream. I love watching your flight videos in the desert. So, what's good? Yeah, so frames and Lego quads. That fills my days these days. Master RC student is back. And Corpius is asking what I'm thinking of the Afro NACE 32 Mini. I don't know. Have never had one. As far as I know, they don't have built-in ESCs. So that's why I don't bother. All right, I'll ask the kids about the glue, and Master C student says he can fly the FPV through the 5-volt output on the Sky without step up, and it's filtered. Yeah, that's what I heard too. Does it have a 5-volt output? Well, here are the 4 motor connectors. Here's power in. I don't see where you can get 5 volts out here. Or here. Here's something. Oh, you can use those plugs. Okay, well, here's some 2 connectors, left and right. So it says 5 volts here, ground 5 volt, TX, RX, and then the other one, ground 5 volts, and some other things what I can't read. So I assume you can use them to program the chip directly if you don't want to use the built-in USB programmer, maybe to flash the bootloader if you messed it up. And yeah, so there are apparently some filters on there to give you clean 5-volt out. Yeah, that, would be nice, but yeah, I think we got to fix the software on these things to make them fly properly. Apart from that, it's not so much of a hassle to use a step up. This here is the 5-volt step up from ready-made RC, what I'm using. But yeah, increases the wiring a little bit. Would be nice to have a 5-volt out from the flight controller, especially if it's plugged. Make the thing a lot easier. There's 2 5-volt outputs, says Eric. So, yeah, doesn't matter, right, how many. You can just split them up. But yeah, you need 2. One for the video transmitter and one for the camera. But yeah, what I do is I buy these wire harnesses for $3 also from ready-made RC. You see, Darth is standing on one. So looked like this. Battery power comes in here. The step-up plugs in here, and then battery plugs in here. Not battery, camera plugs in here, and transmitter plugs in here. So I use one little tube of heat shrink to tidy them up, and that's it. What you need on wiring. So basically, saves you a power distribution board, saves you soldering, and makes swapping of every part just very simple for troubleshooting or for replacing it once you smashed it up. So Eric says, I just tap the FETs for signals and use it on a 1S brushless build. Yeah, you can do that, but you need some PWM converters, right? Pizatric, not sure if I pronounced this properly, is asking if I've ever fly 250 size quads or non-micros. Yeah, I've built a few larger ones as well, but yeah, it's just much more practical to fly these little things. Just sit down in the back there and fly around, or go to some friend's place, sit on their deck and fly around the house, or just sit on the beach and fly around and don't have to worry about things. So yeah, of course, larger quads have more power and you can put more stuff on, and you get better quality camera on there, more range out of it because you can put more power and better antennas on it. But yeah, I'm just too occupied building and flying these. So what camera transmitter do you use? Asks Rich. So You mean what video transmitter on the quads? These are TX5826. TX5826 from Banggood. They come just like this little square thing, and you need to solder everything to them. So I solder a dip switch, a connector, and the antenna to it, and then super glue the connector to the switch and epoxy everything in there. So they run on the Bosscam E band, which has the advantage that the top channel 8, I think it's usually referred to, sits on 5945 megahertz, 5.945 gigahertz, which is out of the range of everyone else. So unless someone is also flying Bosscam E and selects the same channel, I'm pretty much on my own there. That is not part of the ISM band, so you might want to do it sneakily or get a ham radio license if you want to run on that frequency, but I think it's just a fair deal. I'm out of the way of anyone else. I don't get less interference from the people who use 5.8 gigahertz Wi-Fi or 5.8 gigahertz TV. You know, many times I've been flying somewhere and there's a few more dwellings around, and suddenly I see Mickey Mouse in my goggles because someone decided to switch on his wireless TV transmitting thing. Didn't even know that something like that exists. But yeah, I'm not the expert on watching TV, as you might have noticed. So yeah, that's the video transmitters, what I use. 400 milliwatts of output power. Again, you know, get an amateur radio license. Very useful for this hobby. You're not only learning a lot of stuff, but you also get the authorities off your back pretty quickly. Or just, you know, in the first place, make sure they're not after you, because if you make a ham radio license, you learn how to stay out of the way of other people, how to monitor frequencies, how to limit your output power, and how to direct the RF to stay out of everyone else's way. Okay, so some more chit-chat going on in the chat room. So 6 minutes left on my clock at least. Let me see. Did anyone else find some interest in these things? Let me see. Did someone order some? Do I have to make more? Orders in the last hour. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tony buys some 6mm motors. Mike buys carbon frame. Vincent some dark edition motors. Here. Zach buys. Oh, you found an alien brain adapter too. For the Parrot. Do I still have some? Oh yeah. And some brick mounts. Going to Denmark. Hey Zach, I love Denmark. It's the first time I've seen the beach in Denmark. Spent many summers kite surfing at the shores of Blavant. And then Rich snags up one of the Reggae Shark frames. Oh yeah, I'm gonna switch that over to the US, Rich. You bought it from Australia, I think, because I didn't put in any US stock yet. Let me fix that up. Add variants. So, oh, there's some more people bought them. So yeah, all gone yet, but I didn't put the other 10 up yet, so that's gonna happen once I figured it out here. So shipped from AU warehouse, all empty at safe, and US warehouse. So inventory 0 for AU and 10 for the US. Ready, go. That was 25 seconds ago. What's happening? Back to orders. Someone must have snagged the other ones too. So I don't know, did I only put up one? I think so. Yes, I think I only put up one. So I will add 2 more to those and change, no, let me have it first. Let me change Rich's order over to the US. So edit. And Shark, Reggae Shark, oh, it's called AU2, damn. I'm gonna fix up the product description. So yeah, the beef, it's not the beef's fault, it's Clean Flight's fault. But yeah, I always felt all my Clean Flight builds just didn't fly as nicely as the multi-week builds. So where is it? Shark. Yeah, the Sky. Not a fan yet either, but I hope that changes. It's quite nice and cheap. So Shark US safe. I'll put this one order over. So Rick, try again. Edit and put it to US Shark US at one is already gone, and remove this one. Order confirmation, save. So Jesse says, are the parent brain adapters all gone? Let me see if there's some in stock on the shop. Alien brain adapter says 0, but so one was sold. Just now I've seen that, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. So let's put 5 into the inventory. Save. So Procreator says screens are insane. How do you like my screens? Yeah, 23-inch I think. IPS screens in portrait mode, mounted on a what's it called? An Ergotron standing desk. So and move around. Plus a truly ergonomic keyboard and 2 Apple trackpads. I think that's pretty unique, right? I haven't seen anything like this before, but once I put it together and put it on a large U-shaped desk, I think, that's the IT geek's heaven. a link what to the monitors. They're just standard monitors. You want to have a link to the desk thing. It's called the Ergotron the Ergotron WorkFit A. Ergotron WorkFit A. Here you go. Damn, it gives me such a long link. Yeah, so if you just put in Ergotron WorkFit A into Google, you'll find it. And you can also find the Nerfil Ergo chair, which is the most comfortable thing I've ever seen. I sometimes sleep like that. So, yeah, more Parrot brain adapters we have. Tyrannus and DSM modules are good. 11 millisecond settings, you mean the monitors? Yeah, I think they have a pretty low latency, but I don't care about that. As you might guess, I'm not gaming on this thing. Gaming and watching videos is not very practical on portrait monitors. Everything else works better. Websites work better, documents work better, tables work better. Yeah, this is just awesome. But I'm saving my bucks to replace this thing with a 27-inch 5K monitor. But apart from that, yeah, it's very cheap. Monitors are like $200 or so. You just have to make sure that you get panels which have which don't suffer from yeah. I have some other monitors there which didn't work, so I had to buy some other ones. Most monitors, if you move your head down, so look at a normal monitor and just move down, and if you see it getting dark, then this monitor is not good for mounting at portrait, because if you want to move left to right, that's the normal movement up and down if you put them properly. Yeah, so most monitors don't do this. So I found IPS panels, IPS LED panels usually doing this quite well. So you're not talking about the monitors, but the DSM protocol with 11 milliseconds. I could have figured that out. Yeah, field of view, or maybe I'm confusing it again. So you guys are chatting away in the chat room, and I'm not getting everything, I think. So does it fit a soldering iron and hot air SMD station? No. That's actually where my stuff is, the camera sitting on. The camera is sitting on top of my solar station. So 12:30, half past midday, has been reached. I think we will, oh, hang on. It's still here. Wait for it. The party is about to get started. I didn't change this, so let me change that to wait for it. This party is about to finish. Save and put this one up here. You see, that's live broadcasting in action here, learning as we go. So yeah, sorry for that. I actually meant to put up this here during the show, but you know, that's how life is. You can't go back, edit things. You just live and let live. Make mistakes as you go. The smart man learns from his mistakes, and the wise man learns from the smart man. So, yeah, this party is about to finish. So, what else is happening in the chat room? Lol ha off access. Will you be showing your ground station setup soon? I can actually do that, but there's quite a few videos where I already show the ground station. I have a pretty weird ground station. I don't think anyone needs that, but I want that. So it's 5 receivers glued with this tape to a plate, and there's also a 3D printed mount for the video recorder, and then there's a camera tripod mount bolted to it. So I just snap this whole caboodle here onto a camera tripod and then go fly. But yeah, I can make a session about that, just talking about it, because yeah, now it seems all second nature, but I remember a year ago I didn't know anything, and I was using polarized, circular polarized and linear polarized antennas together and things like that. So I'm happy to make a session just to talk about FPV equipment. But yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff out there. You know, the FPV equipment on the ground station, what I'm using, it's not any different to anything what all the 250 racer guys are using. So there's plenty of info out there, but I'm happy to share what I learned as well. Piesatric says I'm kind of comical. Yeah, I heard that many times. That's just how it is. I'm trying to be serious. You know, this time I have even gave the Darth Vader voice a rest, even though based on a recommendation of who said it to me, I forgot. Someone after the last Mad Micromotor Monday, someone said to me, you need to have a microphone stand. So yeah, that's what I got. But I'm not too happy with the quality of this microphone. You know, it's a good microphone. It's a Shure SM58, but I just think this headset here sounds much better. So let's move it out of the way again. So you're in tomorrow, says Procreate. What means you're in tomorrow? Sounds, you know, like my doctor and we have an appointment. Oh, I should go to the Cairo again. But what happens? I don't know, Procreate, what you mean. Maybe you're talking to someone else in the chat room. Do you fly with audio? Asks Pizatrik. I used a headphone bud in one ear. I do it on my other quads, and I was curious if you do. Well, I have a few cameras with audio, and also these transmitters can do audio. But yeah, you know, I was actually thinking about it, but my first thought is, why do you want to hear "wah" in your earbuds? You know, I usually fly around my house here, so I hear the thing flying around. I don't fly far away, you know, these things flying around the house is plenty of space. And I also like to hear what's going on around me. Otherwise, you know, I don't know, the mailman comes in and, you know, someone else comes in and I don't even hear him. Well, I could see them when I'm flying around, you know. But I recently had a discussion with a fellow microflyer friend We said that he's using the audio and listens to it while he flies, and it reminds him of watching Formula One in the 90s. You know, really crappy sound on your small monitor. You hear them going along. It could actually provide some benefit to flying. You know, you hear as much throttle you have. You hear how much it's struggling if you punch the throttle into a turn. You know, if you're trying to lift off somewhere where there's, I don't know, a branch or something blocking your propeller, you can hear that. I think it can be quite useful, but no, I haven't ever flown with audio yet. But when I start soldering more of these things, maybe I'm gonna do it. Because, you know, all my harnesses, they don't even have the audio wire. So what I usually do is, on my transmitters, I shorten the audio pin against ground. Because if you don't do that, it kind of creates noise. And by noise, I mean RF noise. So if you use a spectrum analyzer to look at the spectrum what your transmitter puts out, it kind of creeps over time if you don't shorten the audio pin. I don't know why exactly that is, but it somehow builds up a potential while it's in use and increases the range. So basically uses the audio frequency even though you're not transmitting audio. And yeah, in the sense of being nice to your neighbors and only transmitting as much as you actually need, I just shorten the audio pins to ground and then this doesn't happen. But yeah, maybe a good plan to fly with audio. So it's Sunday 8:35 on 6th of December here, says Super Bazooka. That's what is it called? We call it Nikolaus. So, you know, the little brother or whatever he is from the Santa Claus is coming and puts you little things in your shoes. I'm not sure if that's a tradition here, but we still do it. It's kind of what my mom told me. So, can you plug your video arcs in instead and fly FPV live? Yeah, that's actually what I plan to do. So there's a little bit of a delay across that YouTube stream, as you may or may not have noticed. Around 25 milliseconds, 25 seconds. That's what I figured out so far. Maybe it's changing, but so, you know, we can't do it really live. I thought about setting up some sort of a protocol that someone could fly my quad FPV around my house over the internet. But yeah, that's not going to happen anytime soon. We would need to have really low latency connections for that. But yeah, just hooking up this thing over the this intensity shuttle thing what I have and fly FPV live, that could actually work. I'm thinking about doing that. I'm also, yeah, let me show you. So this thing here, it's a very cheap, I think it costs like $50 or so. It's a video recorder for a security system. It has a shitload of ports. Amongst others, 8 analog inputs. So they're these bayonet connectors, and I just use these adapters here to be able to plug in normal RCA plugs. So there are 8 of them, and you can either put them on the same screen or you just switch between them. So it runs sort of a Linux operating system. You can plug a mouse and a keyboard in, or maybe only mouse, I think. Two, you see, two times USB, 2 times mouse you're supposed to plug in. It even comes with a mouse. So you plug in a mouse and then you can click around on the screen and change settings. And it puts out to VGA and HDMI. So I plan to use this thing to combine video feeds, put several of these cams around my desk. So I only have this boring one perspective. I actually have a different camera, which is right above here. And I try to use that as well. So this camera up here is pointing right on the desk, and this is kind of pointing in the room. And this camera up here also has a narrower angle. So I try to use that to actually show the desk to make it a little bit clearer, because the camera, as you see, it's kind of potato quality. But the problem is, once you pipe multiple video streams via USB into the computer, the USB hub or the USB, what's it called? Not the hub. It's plugged directly into the computer, but every computer has only one or two main USB subsystems, and if you connect more video cameras to one USB subsystem, I don't know, it kind of doesn't work properly. Sometimes I get it to work, but then it craps out again. So my plan is to have this thing, which just does it analog, connect up to 8 cameras to this thing, and then pipe the output via HDMI into this video converter, and from there via USB into the computer, into Wirecast, and then stream it. So this way I should be able to switch live between the different cameras, and one of them is supposed to be my my FPV stream. So I'm not sure if that provides any value to anyone, but I think it's a funny experiment that I'm sitting over there and flying around my house while you watch. If someone wants to do that, I'm in for the party. So, but the actual plan for this thing was, why I originally bought it, is I can take 8 video streams at the same time and record them all at the same time. So in here is a hard drive. This is the most expensive part of the whole thing. So the box was, I think, $50, and there's a $120 something 3 terabyte green Western Digital hard drive in there. So the plan was to record 8 streams at the same time. Why do I want to record 8 streams? So the plan was to use these 2 receivers. They are diversity receivers, but not sure if you can see this. Let me look at so no, it's very difficult to see. So they have a diversity output, which gives you the strongest signal of all 4 antennas, but they also have individual outputs. So my plan is to rig up this thing with 8 different antennas and get from 8 cables. So I just butchered these cables, 3.5mm audio jacks to RCA, and so 8 of them go into that recorder and record at the same time, and this way you should be able to compare antenna performance. Well, so far this plan failed because this thing records in some weird format which I have not found any program, and I tried many, to read it. You can play it back on the thing, but you can't play it back once you got your hands on the file. But now I have this intensity shuttle thing which can take the HDMI output. So I will take the 8 analog outputs, pipe them into this video recorder thing, get the output via HDMI, and then record this with some recording software on the computer. But yeah, I digress. So the music. Chaos time. Oh yeah, maybe as an outro I can do some chaos music. Let me boot up the things. So I need to make a mono cable for my headphones. The bus is so bad if I try a stereo plug. What also helps with buzzing is chokes. You know what a choke is? It's not the best example here, but it's you take a ferret kernel, whatever it's called, these things here, and you pull the wire through, loop it around, and pull it through another time. That can reduce interference if you have any induced interference on your audio line. But yeah, I think mono is probably just good enough. So, and how's the weather here? Well, yeah, it's the time of not wearing shoes, which lasts around 9 months here. So it's around 30 degrees Celsius outside, which is kind of average. So we have warmer days and cooler days. But yeah, I'm only wearing a shirt for the show. So voice packs. Yeah, one of the things what kept me from doing more voice packs is to decide on the microphone. Because I was putting up this other thing anyway, I thought I use a higher quality microphone for this. But I think I just stick to this thing here. How do you think this is sound? Do you think it could be any better? Those of you who have seen the previous streams, I mean, next to the crazy Darth Vader stuff, how do you think this sounds? Is that good, or should I keep working on it? So yeah, voice packs. Audio adds more immersion. Yeah, Mr. Steele uses audio. Does he? Super Bazooka says, where are you originally from? My wife and I were trying to figure it out. He hasn't talked with that deep voice and echo. Nah, he's not doing it every time. I thought it was really funny and really necessary. Just these, what was almost 4 hours, I was talking into the microphone and blasting my audio back into my ears, which I actually, I realized that wasn't the best idea either, because I was using Sennheiser HD 600 headphones. By the way, if you haven't experienced those, they are just the best thing you can do. Best headphones you can buy below maybe $1,000 or so, but they are open. So the advantage of that is you hear noise from the outside. So you may know this if you're listening with closed ear headphones, and suddenly someone comes in and you jump because you haven't seen him, you haven't heard him. With open headphones, that's avoided, but the problem is then the noise leaks, and if you're talking into a microphone and want to monitor your own audio, you're creating feedback. So that's why I bought these here. Audio Technica ATH M50 closed headsets, which don't leak almost any sound. They're relatively cheap. They're very nice headsets for around $100. Detachable cord and kind of very flat audio profile, so very good for monitoring. But yeah, so currently I'm not monitoring myself at all. Even though these are headsets, I'm not piping the audio back because I know how these sound. Pretty much all the videos I do, I record the audio with this microphone. because it always has the same distance to the mouth. It's very, very noise cancelling. So if I just move it up a little bit, you almost can't hear anything anymore. If someone comes in here and talks to me, you won't hear it. So yeah, just convenient. So let me know how you think that sounds. Sounds good, sounds good. The headset works fine. Done deal, my friends. I think I save that for another rainy day. So yeah, voice packs, since we now have decided that, I'm gonna record another voice pack without screwing around with the audio. If you really want this, just download the stuff, put it into Audacity and go into modulation change and click the button. Don't change speed, just change modulation and just drag it down and control. Yeah, I can't do it that well without without the thing. So, but back to the question, where are you originally from? Yeah, I'm born in Berlin. I spent there the first 28 years of my life, and then I decided it would be time for a change because I hate wearing shoes and I hate public transport with people in a bad mood. That's what you get a lot in Berlin. So I moved to Australia around 7, 8 years ago, and now we live here on the beach, and yeah, life is pretty good. Just internet connection is crappy. Apart from that, this is micromotor paradise. I have so many places to fly. If I don't fly around my house, go to the beach, go to the park, go to the wherever. There's so many places here where not many people are. It's getting kind of busy over the holiday season here because this year is the place where people from Sydney make holidays, or those who have kind of gotten the insider tip that this is God's place here. Look it up on Google somewhere. The Central Coast, New South Wales, in particular Avoca Beach, and I'm kind of lucky here, living with all the rich and beautiful people who can afford spending $2 million on a shabby house. So yeah, I didn't do that. I found a sneaky way around that, but yeah, it's pretty freaking expensive to live here, and there's nothing but awesome nature and friendly people. Best potato grade podcast on YouTube. Yeah, I've kind of put up with that. I like HD, and ideally I want to stream in 4K. I have a 4K camera, and I even tried to make 4K videos. But man, we're just not ready for that. And Australia is not even ready for 480p. So yeah, that's how it is. Mr. Pnew is late to the show. I'm late too. It's almost half an hour over, but well, I have a crap load to do, but nothing really pressing, so I just keep the stream going for a little bit. That's what my wife said. What did she say? That I'm from Berlin? Yeah, it's kind of funny. Berlin accent and Aussie accent are kind of similar. They're both butchering the language in a similar way. So German obviously still influences my speaking, and a little bit Aussie, I believe. So when I go back to Germany, my friends are saying I have an Aussie accent. I'm not too sure about that. And I'm listening a lot to US podcasts. Leo Laporte, Steve Gibson, Scott Wilkinson. These are the people I learned English from. Pedro. What's Pedro? Pedro V. Pedro is making alien wheeze now. in your face, bazooka. Where's the Hecleus? Well, the Hecleus is up there on the shelf. Didn't get much flight time recently, although it's very nice. So the Hecleus is an alias hacked to the limit. Everything changed. Everything's new and fresh. So yeah, if you want to know something about the Hecleus, ask Balto. Balto? Lol, yup, that's right. 480p. I couldn't handle that slow internet connection. Yeah, you know, my friends are laughing at me when I'm telling them that I have a ADSL 2 Plus connection and I'm paying $50 for it a month. There's nothing fast I can get here, and we're already pretty lucky. You know, there's like 4 or 5 coastal villages here. Forester's Beach, Vombrel, Avoca Beach, North Avoca, Copacabana. Copacabana is right down here. Believe it or not, Copacabana, we have a much nicer beach than the original Copacabana. So nice and peaceful out there. And McMaster's Beach. They all come to the DSL exchange point a few hundred meters down the road here. And most of the people here didn't figure out yet what the internet is. So I'm pretty much the only one who is using that exchange properly. But yeah, that's how good it gets. I went to Severe Extents. Some of you might maybe know DM Tools. It's a piece of software what you can use to hack around on the specs of a DSL modem. And yeah, I tweaked it to no extent until I somewhat got a reasonable download from around 10 megabits, maybe sometimes 12. And I've put all sorts of optimizing, scheduling stuff, so I'm running several routers to optimize things here. The core router is a pretty beefy machine running IP-Fire, and then I have several access points to separate the load. So my neighbors are allowed to use my Wi-Fi because they haven't figured out, well, they don't use it. I told them to, they can, but yeah, internet is just not a part of life for many people here. So yeah, but I digress again. So where's the Hecleus? 480p. Yep, that you're from Berlin. So you can hear that I'm from Berlin even though I'm talking English. That's funny. Yeah, Berlin, it's a nice place to be, but I don't miss it too much, to be honest. Leo Laporte to learn English. You think that wasn't a good choice? I was, actually the Security Now podcasts. So I couldn't speak any English when I came here. So I listened to around 100 podcasts, Security Now 001 to 99, in about 3 months or so. So yeah, around 3 days it works. I was commuting, so one on the way there, one on the way back, and then another one at night. And I was teaching classes at that point in time, engineering classes. Even if you don't speak English properly, there was just no one who could do this stuff, so they hired me to do it. And the people I was working with, they noticed after a couple of weeks of me listening to those podcasts, suddenly how do you learn speaking English? Suddenly you get much better. And it's just listening to people talking about technology and picking up what they say. So, instead of learning a language by someone in your language explaining you the words back and forth, I was just listening to that, and I didn't look up because, on the trains we also don't have internet. So I was sitting in the train and listening to that stuff. And if there was a word which I didn't know, I couldn't look it up. So I would just keep on listening. And after some time, I figured it all out. And now I can speak English without thinking much about it. And many of the words, I don't even know the German words for it. There's so many words in technology where it just kind of doesn't make sense to speak German at all. Many people ask me to make German videos. I think it's just easier to speak English. Even if I can't do it properly, it's easier. So Mr. Pnew is Pedro147, likes to travel incognito. Good stuff, man. So you know how it is. I'm glad you have enough download bandwidth to watch this. Yeah, where's Madman? I don't know where Madman is. No alien we left behind. Western PA, what country? Windsor country? He's looking for the alien we in the river. Sorry, caps lock. I recently had someone sending me messages all in caps. I replied a few times to him, and then I said, do you know that it's kind of considered shouting and yelling in the internets if you're writing all in caps? Maybe just your cap key is stuck. Have a look. And he said, no, I just don't have proper vision, so that's why I like to write everything in capitals, kind of easier to read. So I started replying in the full caps to him. Procreate. The Procreator. Tyler the Creator. Okay, enough rambling. Let's finish this up. I'm drinking R2E2 mangoes. R2E2 mangoes with Greek yogurt. Makes you happy. Any more questions? Otherwise, I'll let you go and start packing stuff. So there's still one or two things which I haven't packed up yet from the Dark Force Friday, and but only one or two. Majority of that was all sent out, and I need to send more stuff to Berlin. To 820 models ran out in Berlin, so I gotta send some more there. And then today is karate grading. So 1 year of training. I'm getting a new belt today, a blue belt. Get into a new class. Harder training. Yeah, so 2 years ago I decided to get fit. I'm doing 4 yoga sessions and 5 karate sessions every week. That's the luxury of life if you run your own business and don't have to commute. Instead of commuting, I do exercise. Mango smoothie, exactly. R2E2. I don't know if they're genetically modified, but they're freaking huge. So 1 mango and 300 grams of yogurt make 2 of these. Tequila? No, it's lunchtime here. And I prefer absinthe and gin. So, where's Bodo? It's not Bodo, it's Bodo. Bodo is my crazy parrot, crazy cockatoo. You know, my my DSL router is upstairs in the kitchen. And from there, a cable goes out through the window onto the deck and then around the house here and then into that window and then into my server rack here. And the freaking cockatoo recently, it was actually after the Friday podcast, after the Black Friday, Dark Force Friday. About half an hour later, bam, internet went out. So I was trying to figure out what's wrong, and the freaking cockatoo has bitten the network cable. Just 2 pieces. It's a 25-meter cable. I don't have a replacement for that. So I was sitting here and soldering the thing back together and then shielded it with garden hose. So that internet is going through a self-soldered network cable shielded with a garden hose. That contributes to the potato quality. Can you do an Australian accent? Not more than that. No, I'm sorry. Absinthe with the wormwood oil from the north or south. I don't know if it has wormwood. It's brewed, I think, from, what is it, juniper berries? Makes you so yeah, only late at night. Actually works together very well with mango. There's some synergy between absinthe and mango. Yeah, so, and also my antennas, when you're talking about the bird, I have FPV antennas over there on the deck and here on the roof. The freaking cockatoos are chewing them up. So I print little plastic tubes, which with a little notch inside, so the antenna slides right in, and then I tape it all up with cloth tape, gaffer tape, whatever you want to call it, thick stuff, just round around, so the bloody cockatoos don't destroy it. So, yeah, let's just make some funky music to call it a day. So, this here is the messy back of my desk. Sorry for the noise. So, these are 2 Chaos pads. Well, this one is Chaosilator, and this is a Chaos Pad 3. Bandwidth alert. Let me see. Bandwidth alert. Live control room. It says the health is good. The health is good, it says. Stream status good. Peak concurrent users 26. So let's see if we get this thing here going. Yeah, the party is about to finish. We will revive this again next week. Maybe I can get my act together a little bit earlier and put together the topic and the thumbnail for the day a little bit earlier. But in the past, it just happened to happen on Monday mornings. But yeah, I'll try to keep the time the same. 11:30 my time, whatever that is on your time. Let me see about the audio here. I gotta get the audio from these guys into the stream as well. Seems to work, but I need to have this on my headphones. So, gotta plug headphones in. I don't need that one. So, headphones. Headphones. So yeah, switching off the mic, checking out the informative part is over. Let's make some weird music to call it a day. See you later.